Documents am I going to get at every point in trying to buy property in Abuja? Today, I'm going to walk you through the process of the documents you are getting stage by stage in simple plain terms, so that by the time this video ends, you know exactly what you should be getting at every point of your land purchase right here in Abuja. Welcome back to our channel. So if you are buying from an estate or you are buying from an individual land, the first thing you have to know is that buying from an estate is different from buying from an individual land. So before you send that money, you have to understand that the developer needs to send you what we know as the offer letter, and that is what I'm holding right here. So think of it as a formal introduction to this transaction, and it states the property being offered to you, the plot sizes, the prices, and the payment plan if that is what you are using. This document is basically the developer saying we are offering you this specific land, plot number, plot size, and the account details under different terms and conditions, which is also in the offer letter. It protects you from every verbal agreement that can be denied, of course, in the future later. So this is what the offer letter stands for. Now, when you read through the offer letter and you like what you see, and you see that you can keep up to the terms and conditions, you go ahead and make payment because it's already there. The second stage is after you've made payment, for example, the initial deposit, there's something called the Provisional Allocation Letter and the receipts being sent to you, either through mail or hard copy. So the first one is the receipt, which is straightforward. It confirms that the developer has received your money, how much you paid, the date it was being paid, and what it was paid for. You always collect your receipts. Always ensure that you collect your receipt, whether it's digital or hard copy, so that it gets to protect you in any eventualities tomorrow. The second one is the Provisional Allocation Letter. This is the developer formally acknowledging that a specific plot has been reserved for you to your name, your plot number, your location within the estate. The word provisional means it is not yet final. It is tied to you completing your payment. But it tells you significantly that a specific plot number is being held to your name while you constantly or continuously finish the payment. The next stage is after you've completed the payment of that land. The document you are getting is an allocation letter and a contract of sale. This is where things get more serious. So once you complete your full payment, two major documents should be issued to you. The first one is what we know as the allocation letter. This is the final confirmed version of your allocation. It is no longer conditional. The plot is yours, your name is on it, the plot number on it, and the developer is formally confirming that the land belongs to you within the estate. The second document you are getting is the contract of sale. This is a legal agreement between you and the developer or the seller. The document explains everything about the transaction, who is selling, who is buying, who is being sold, for how much, on what terms it is signed by both parties, and it becomes a binding legal record of the transaction. These two documents together are your foundation. They show that you paid in full and the ownership has been transferred to you by the agreement. If you've watched this video up to this very point and you have further questions, do not hesitate to let me know in the comment section, or you can also reach us on the numbers showing on your screen where we can help answer further questions, because we get to hear a lot of questions. What titles or documents am I getting when I make my initial deposit, when I make my complete payment, when am I getting my deed of assignment or deed of conveyance? As we continue, I'm going to also explain the documents and all of it. So do not forget to hit the subscribe button and most especially like this video. Next stage is after your building is completed. What are the documents you are getting? You get your deed of conveyance, or what we know as deed of assignment. Now, once you've built on the land and the development is complete or almost completed, you move to the highest level of documentation where you'll be handed your deed of conveyance or deed of assignment. And I'll be explaining both simply. A deed of conveyance is a legal document that formally transfers ownership of the land and whatever is built on it from the developer or the previous owner to you permanently or officially. And it is legal, and it is one of the strongest forms of title you can hold. A deed of assignment works in a very similar way. It is used when the original owner is assigning or transferring all their rights and interests in that property over to you. So once this document is properly executed and registered, you are the recognized owner in the eyes of the law. These documents are what you present when you want to sell, rent, use the property as a collateral for a loan and pass it on to your children. These are your long-term ownership protection. Now we're going to talk about you buying from a layout or single land. What are the title documents you are getting from it? So if you are buying directly from a private individual rather than an estate, the key documents you are looking for are slightly different because the processes are also different. You want an irrevocable power of attorney and a deed of assignment. The irrevocable power of attorney means that the seller is giving you full permanent legal authority over that land. They cannot come back tomorrow and reverse it. The word irrevocable is important. It means that it cannot be taken back. This is what you look out for when you're buying in a layout. Combined with the deed of assignment, which transfers all the ownership rights to you. These two documents together gives you solid and legal standing as the owner of that land. When buying from individuals or layouts, always involve a lawyer. Always verify the document with the relevant government authorities and never pay in full before you have confirmed the documents are genuine. In summary, what you should have at each stage when you are buying from an estate and when you are buying from an individual land or a layout. The first is the offer letter, and after you've paid your initial deposit, you get your receipt and your provisional allocation letter. The next one is after you completed your payments, you get your allocation letter and a contract of sale. And after building, you get your deed of conveyance or deed of assignment. Then for individual land or when you're buying from an estate, what you are getting is an irrevocable power of attorney and your deed of assignment. Knowledge is protection in real estate. A lot of people have lost their hard-earned money because they were careless or they didn't know about all this information. And it is necessary you know about this, especially when you're trying to buy in Abuja. And because you know this, that means you don't have to make that mistake any longer. So you know what you are expecting at every point when you are making your payments and what you are getting when you've completed your payment. Now you know what to ask for at every stage. You know what each document means, and you know that if a seller or a developer provides this, or the seller or developer you should be doing business with, you understand that you demand these titles from them or these documents from them. Now that we've gotten to the end of this video, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you have further questions regarding this particular title, which I know that a lot of people have asked us questions regarding this, that's why we did this video, do not hesitate to let us know. Ask us using the number shown on your screen and we'll grant you answers immediately. Much more than investing in Abuja, we believe strongly you should invest right. And that you must. So knowledge helps you and it gives you the power to invest in right. See you in our next video and bye for now.